Welcome to On the Issue. I'm Tita Tavares, PDA Chief of Staff. We're here at the PDA Universe of Prefilled Syringes and Injection Device Conference 2024. I'm here with our winners of the Innovation Award for 3D imaging and analysis of large volume viscous injections with fast delivery rates in a porcine model, risks and opportunities. Joel Gresham, Lead Engineer, Crux Product Design, and Simon Dell, Senior Principal Scientist, Device Development Lead for Pfizer. Congratulations on winning the award, and thank you for being here at UPS. We're excited to have you.
Good to be here.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, gentlemen. So your technology aims to fill a knowledge gap in the delivery of large volume subcutaneous injections regarding safe, feasible, and tolerable limits for device and formulation design, despite the availability of platform device technologies marketed for LVSC delivery. Your work addresses the existing risks of not knowing these design limits. Can you tell us what led Pfizer to address this issue at this time?
Thank you for the question. The reason that Pfizer came to this point in time of looking to answer these large volume subcutaneous injection parameters that we're looking to address is Pfizer has a whole range of novel products coming through our innovative pipeline, transitioning patients from hospital care with IV injections to home care with subcutaneous injections. The need that we have is to understand what is tolerable for patients and how it impacts their lives. So hopefully our patients can have at-home self-care in the future, which is going to be beneficial for them, and better patient adherence and better lives for them.
So Crux product design study set out to explore the interaction of injected formulation and tissue layers using high-resolution micro-CT visualizations for different volume, viscosity, and rate combinations. Can you tell us about the technology used and how you set up the study?
Yeah, so it's all about visualization. I suppose seeing is believing, as they say, and when you inject a drug into the body, I think people often assume it just sort of disappears and is absorbed by the body, and we don't think too much about how. But when we think about high-dose formulations, large volumes, 20 milliliters, you inject that into your abdomen, and that will not just stay where you put it, it's going to spread out to sort of different parts of the body. We're talking maybe 10 centimeters across the abdomen for the large volume 20 milliliter injection. So it's not staying in the sub-Q tissue, it's potentially going into the muscle tissue, different injection sites, and how's that going to affect how it's absorbed and its therapeutic effect on the body? We don't know, but we try and visualize it. It's like having X-ray glasses. You can see the injection under the skin in 3D.
Wow, so how should the industry build on this approach, and what needs to be done next?
I think back to being at PDA 5 years ago, the same conference, and people asking the same kind of questions. High dose, large volumes, high viscosity. Is it tolerable? Is it painful? What are the device-tissue interactions? And we still don't have good enough answers to those questions to answer things to do with the upcoming drug portfolio for companies like Pfizer. And so we're at this watershed moment where we're going to be selling lots of these therapies, but there's a lot of uncertainty around the limits of safety and acceptability and usability. So more work needed, I think, particularly in pain and devices.
Yeah, and as you say, a few years ago at PDA, this was a topic of conversation of what is achievable, what is possible, and it's helping Pfizer understand, and the rest of the industry understand, how we can develop devices to satisfy our patients' needs in the future.
So what does it mean to your companies, both of your companies, to win the PDA Drug Delivery Innovation Award?
For me, speaking for Pfizer and the Technology and Innovation Committee at Pfizer that funded this piece of work, it means absolutely everything. It endorses why we do these pieces of research work, and to have PDA acknowledging and awarding us with this great award this week backs up everything that we've been trying to do for the last few years with this funding, doing the work, pushing the technology forward in the industry. Is absolutely amazing, and it's recognised throughout the industry that PDA is the event to be at.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. It's validating, it feels great, but also from a practical point of view, we need funding to do the innovation work, and when you're the first person doing something, people get nervous. Is it going to be a good return on investment? We've never done it before. Is it going to work? And so to be validated at something as prestigious as the PDA UPS conference, it's really beneficial for the next steps for this work.
Well, thank you guys, and congratulations again, gentlemen, and we're excited to have you here, so thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Tita Tavares, PDA Chief of Staff. I'm here with the winners of the 2024 PDA Drug Delivery Innovative Partnership Award. Duncan Patterson, Senior Director, Device Development, AstraZeneca, and Michael Hurd, Senior Engineering Consultant, Team Consulting. Their project titled, For Reusability Simplified, The Journey to Develop a Sustainable, Low-Cost, Reusable Autoinjector. Gentlemen, congratulations and welcome to the 2024 PDA Universe of Prefilled Syringes and Injection Devices Conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and on the issue.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, no, glad to have you. So let's jump right into it. What are some of the challenges associated with low-cost, reusable autoinjectors?
Shall I start?
Yes.
Usability and sort of ease of reusability, as I think we've kind of coined it. So in the autoinjector space, it's kind of currently dominated by devices that are very simple to use, that are generally referred to as kind of two-step devices. By introducing some kind of reusable element, you're kind of by default adding more user steps to the process, which is almost the kind of opposite of where the industry's been trying to go over the past decade or so. And so the real kind of challenge is about how do we integrate these kind of additional steps into the process and still maintaining a kind of usability proposition that's kind of comparable and isn't sort of, worse than what already exists. I think I think that's the key gist that we've been trying to address throughout the process we've been on.
Yeah, and I think I would add to that that in order to achieve the goals of low cost or minimizing cost as much as possible and the environmental impact, we did have to make some difficult decisions about which features we could take out from the design and resist the temptation to kind of add features in just because we could, because we really wanted to be disciplined about minimizing cost and environmental impact. So that did require some challenging decisions along the way.
Can I just add one other bit? So and our solution is a fully mechanical solution. So there are other systems in the market just now that utilise a lot of electronics and systems, and that gives you kind of the electronic logic and control and the ability to kind of have processes that when you do that, this other thing happens and something else happens, and you can kind of build that into the device at a kind of programmed level. With a fully mechanical system, you kind of don't have these levers to play with. You've got to use the actions of the users and springs and linkages to try and replicate all the requirements that you need to make the device as usable as possible, which was a real challenge in the process.
And in that, would you say there were opportunities that came out of that as well?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the big opportunity and what we've been trying to exploit is the kind of cost and the sustainability picture. In a conventional single-use system, you're throwing away the full system, the energy storage, and maybe it's a spring or a gas system, but once it's used, it's gone, and therefore there's a kind of cost and environmental and financial that goes with that. So the real opportunity for us is that because you're keeping a part of it, that cost can essentially be amortized over how many uses the device is used over, and then it's up to us to try and minimize the size and the cost and the complexity of the bit that you throw away. And so, we've been really trying as hard as we can to kind of really optimize the disposable element of our system, so that over the kind of life cycle of the product, the overall costs, and from a financial point of view and from a kind of emissions or waste point of view, are as low as possible.
Mm-hmm. I think the estimates that we've done, preliminary estimates admittedly at this early stage, but we are estimating that would reduce the cost by around about a third, and the environmental carbon footprint and plastic waste around about half. So that's quite significant when you think about the potential volume of auto-injectors that we're going to be expecting over the coming years. So we think that's going to have a significant opportunity and benefit.
Can you tell us about your innovative solution and what are its advantages?
Well, I guess when I think about innovation and the way the team operated and what we brought, I think of it more as an innovative approach. And what we focused on, because the challenges were really usability related, we focused very much on continuously capturing real user feedback, putting the device in various prototypes in the hands of real users and asking them to try it out, and taking that feedback and then feeding that into the next iteration of the design. There was a continuous iterative loop that we were doing there. That really meant that what we were able to do is allow user experience to fundamentally and directly shape the architecture of the design, and address the key challenges, which to me is really what innovation is about.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really, really good, Duncan. I think I think some of the kind of challenges that came out of the usability picture come again to kind of the new actions that we're asking users to perform for this type of device that maybe aren't typical. So one of them is energizing the system, so to achieve kind of acceptable delivery times and using acceptable needle sizes for a kind of a range of drugs kind of consistent with the types of molecules that are kind of currently under development. You need to have some kind of energy store system. In a kind of conventional single-use system, that energy is provided in the production facility by a machine, and there's no kind of limit really to how much energy or the availability of energy to input at that point. For our system, we're relying on the user population that's kind of outsourced that task to real people, and people come in all shapes and sizes and capabilities, and so we've got to make sure that the system is usable, even by the kind of extremes of the potential user population that may have dexterity issues or strength deficiencies or whatnot, and so we try to kind of combat that with some kind of innovative sort of design solutions. One being having a kind of a lever system to help give them some mechanical advantage to kind of amplify their input force, and to try and get the most out of them. We've made that lever kind of as long as we possibly could make it within the device. We've added a kind of linkage system that provides a kind of non-linear kind of relationship between the lever and the spring force, which sort of enhances that kind of amplification effect, and as the spring force becomes higher and higher and higher. So we've implemented solutions to really try and not only make the device kind of usable from a kind of step point of view, but also usable from a capability point of view as well.
So tell us a little bit about how this partnership came to be and how you guys started working together to develop this, the auto-injector.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it came to be in the sense that AstraZeneca identified really what is a gap in the available landscape of devices or drug delivery devices to meet the needs of our portfolio. So in doing that, we then engaged team consulting to bring a lot of engineering and industrial design expertise to support the development of a new potential platform for a reusable auto-injector that we've been talking about. So we work together. We put a core team together with complementary experts and experience on both sides, and we advanced the project really in a series of small, focused work packages that had clear, targeted goals, and that enabled us to stay very much on track, on budget, and also foster a very kind of collaborative and dynamic relationship and culture within the team, and that really was at the heart of what made it a success.
No, I think I'd echo that, Duncan. This project's been really, really interesting and really, enjoyable to work on, and a lot of that's based on the kind of relationships that we've established between the two companies. And a lot of that's based on just kind of the day-to-day interaction and the fact we've kind of sort of really very much approached it sort of collaboratively. We have skill sets that can kind of both contribute to the kind of development, or both have contributed to the planning of how we've gone about the process, and then how we've kind of actually developed the specific embodiment that we've come up in the project. So no, it's been a really enjoyable process to work with the AstraZeneca team.
So before we wrap this discussion up, I have one last question for each of you. What does it mean to your company to win the PDA Drug Delivery Innovation Partnership Award?
Shall I start? Yeah, I mean, it's a real honour. I mean, I think particularly at the PDA Universal Prefilled Syringes Conference, where there's so many of the kind of leading industry figures, to kind of get recognised by PDA is amazing, really. It just kind of helps to highlight how this type of how the industry's kind of how they see kind of these kind of innovative projects and how kind of they see the potential in pieces of work like we've done. So it's something that is really I'm thinking to the team back in the UK, and it really helps us to kind of to showcase the type of work that we can do. So yeah, it's a real honour.
Yeah, no, I mean, the whole team's very proud of the project. So to have PDA recognise the project in this way with an award really is kind of an industry endorsement of all the work that we've done. So it's been it's very rewarding to hear that, and also just thinking internally within AstraZeneca, having this award is going to help us with building credibility with stakeholders as we take the project forward and towards commercialization.
Well, gentlemen, congratulations again, and thank you for inspiring collaboration, for your participation in the project, and your contributions to the industry. We really appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the conference, and hopefully we'll see you next year.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.